Hello and welcome here. With films like The Flash, Batgirl, and Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, Warner Brothers insulted the legacy of Michael Keaton's Batman for hundreds of millions of dollars. Although the DCEU ran into countless obstacles during its 10-year run, it achieved several admirable feats such as a large cast of talented actors, the rise in popularity of lesser-known or oft-maligned characters like Peacemaker and Aquaman, and the positive reception of movies like Wonder Woman and Shazam. Moreover, Michael Keaton's comeback as Batman was yet another outstanding accomplishment by the DCEU before its eventual reboot. Michael Keaton eventually played the renowned Batman character in The Flash, more than 3 decades after making his DC debut. Warner Brothers was already working on many projects starring Keaton's Batman before the movie ever entered cinemas. Keaton might have set a record, having portrayed the first and most recent Dark Knight on the big screen and perhaps soon exceeding Ben Affleck's DCEU appearance record, with more than 5 live-action Batman actors appearing between his performances. Unfortunately, Michael Keaton's comeback was not only shortened but also fell short of his reputation. After 31 years of waiting, Michael Keaton's return as Batman deserved something special. Michael Keaton completed the transformation of Batman from Adam West's cheerful portrayal in the 1960s Batman TV show to a grim and realistic superhero in live action, building on the work of comic book creators and writers like Neil Adams and Frank Miller. Together with Christopher Reeve's Superman, Michael Keaton's Batman helped pave the way for what would eventually turn into the heyday of superhero movies. Keaton only made a comeback in 1991's Batman Returns, but he maintained a standard for the role and the genre as a whole for decades. An iconic character's return calls for a strong screenplay, a well-planned path for the character, or at the very least, a fitting departure. Although Michael Keaton's portrayal of Batman is one of the show's highlights, there isn't enough opportunity for him to grow as a person in The Flash. The Flash only uses Batman as a plot device before leaving him to perish alongside Supergirl in a different universe. Keaton's Batman provides the resources that allow both Barry Allens to save Supergirl, battle Zod, and travel back in time. However, other than a few exciting fight scenes and a brief realization that he still retains his heroic spirit, DC's plan for a Michael Keaton Batman may have been fantastic. Michael Keaton's portrayal of Batman was supposed to replace Ben Affleck's in The Flash's climactic climax, as evidenced by behind-the-scenes footage showing Keaton on the same set as the film's final scene. In Batgirl, where he had a supporting part as a mentor to Leslie Grace's Barbara Gordon, Keaton finished filming his portions. Keaton's Batman was slated to make an appearance in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom at some time. And according to director Kevin Smith, Michael Keaton may have ultimately come back for a film called Batman Beyond, where he probably would have helped Terry McGinnis, the titular Batman, out. Ben Affleck's loss might have been lessened by Michael Keaton's several Batman appearances, but they would have also allowed for a wealth of creative Batman storylines that have little chance of happening without Keaton. Audiences would have seen Batman's first steps as a hero in 1989's Batman and 1991's Batman Returns, as well as his twilight years in future DCEU movies, where an older Bruce Wayne would have raised a new generation of DC heroes. Michael Keaton may have effectively begun and ended a particular period in the history of Batman. So what went wrong with Michael Keaton's return of Batman from Batgirl to The Flash and Aquaman, Part 2? Unfortunately, Michael Keaton was swept up in the turbulent changes within the DCEU and the series' hasty end. First, there were several logistical problems, delays, and screenplay changes with The Flash, not to mention Ezra Miller's contentious conduct, which ultimately had an impact on how well it was received. Keaton's portrayal of Batman was marred by The Flash's subpar CGI and VFX, awkward cameos, and disorganized storyline. To top it off, word of the upcoming DCEU revamp diminished interest in The Flash, and George Clooney's comedic appearance as Batman turned out to be an awkward way to wrap up the narrative. Batgirl was stalled by Warner Brothers Discovery despite being nearly finished due to subpar test screenings and a spate of cancellations. There was no longer any justification for Keaton's Batman to return in the DCEU, especially in light of the impending relaunch of the character. Batman's supporting role in Batgirl was eliminated, and Keaton was also absent from The Flash's climax. As a result, Keaton's Batman scenes from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom were likewise cut, and Batman is not present in any capacity in the Aquaman sequel. As for Batman Beyond, the cancellation of Batgirl made it obvious that the idea was no longer feasible. So now begs the question, will Michael Keaton Batman ever make a comeback? The new Batman in the DC universe will probably be the last living representative of the character since the brave and the bold, since the DCEU will strive to learn from its failures. In fact, Since the DC universe will also include video games and animation, it's possible that the actor who played Batman in The Brave and the Bold may return to the role in other mediums as well. Naturally, Robert Pattinson will also appear in the Batman sequels by Matt Reeves, which take place in a separate Elseworlds realm. But other from those two actors, no other actor, young or old, is likely to portray Batman. However, it's not absolutely impossible that Michael Keaton may play Batman again. Iconic DC stars like Michael Keaton, Henry Cavill, and Ben Affleck may return to their roles when the new DC universe is matured enough to warrant a franchise-wide event like Crisis on Infinite Worlds. The present situation could be making a comparable possibility appear more implausible than it actually is at this juncture, much as Keaton's comeback as Batman would have looked inconceivable only a few years before The Flash. However, it's still too early to forecast a shock of that magnitude, therefore Michael Keaton's appearance as Batman in The Flash will continue to be his final for the time being. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.